What she's been up to this morning is to focus in on the post office and how they are staying relevant in this digital age. A very good morning to you once again, Ayanda.
Good morning to you, Valen. And yes, as we talk about the post office, we're changing tack a little bit, and we're not going to focus on digital terrestrial television, the set-top boxes there. Now, I know you may be wondering, what's the connection? DTT and the post office? Well, I'm going to bring you some information regarding that now. And joining me to elaborate further is Mr. Geert Bataille. He is the General Manager for Retail Operations here at the post office. A very good morning to you and welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning to yourself and to the viewers.
So what is the link between DTT set-top boxes and the post office?
We've been appointed by the Department of Communication via USASA to be the distribution agent on behalf of the Department of Communication, which means we will undertake the registrations but also the distribution of these set-top boxes. So an individual would come to the post office, the needy households, they would come through to the post office, the nearest post office that they live to, register. Obviously there's certain qualification criteria that need to be complied with, being obviously it needs to be a South African citizen, proof of income, which is to be less than 3,200 rand a month, and then obviously proof of a working TV in the form of a SABC TV license.
Mm-hmm. How far are we in that stage at the moment? What's implementation like?
We've already launched we had a pilot phase in the square kilometre array, which was started in October. We then moved across to the Northern Cape. We're currently also busy in the Free State, and after which we'll be moving over to Mpumalanga. Uptake to date has been a little bit slow. We've got 4,500 registrations in those provinces, and we need to distribute 5.2 million. So it is actually very, very important that the people in the Northern Cape and in the Free State go to the closest post office with the required documentation and undertake the registration process.
Do you think that people are aware of what they need to do, of the part that they need to play in the migration process, or do you think there's perhaps an information gap there?
I think there may be a little bit of information gap. I think the awareness has been a little bit slow, but that's obviously due to budgetary constraints. But that will be resolved in the new financial year. The Department of Communication will have some funds to obviously market the project more effectively, because uptake is very much important, because at this point in time we are receiving stock from our manufacturers and we're that through to our warehouses, so the uptake needs to be there, so there's a continuous flow through from the manufacturers through to the post office and through to the beneficiaries.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the hiccups now that you may have experienced already. The beauty about starting something small scale is that you're able to monitor progress and see where perhaps you can tweak one or two things. They're only things that you'll discover once you start implementing, so it's understandable. What are some of those teething problems that you may have discovered in certain areas that you're working on?
For example, we've designed a whole system to cater for the registration and the distribution process. So there's been a few enhancements, a few tweaks that we've picked up. There's also some tweaks that we've had to make with Centex, some tweaks that we had to make in terms of our linkages with USASA. But then also on the warehousing side, obviously, each project is an incremental project. So, we've picked up some issues with our warehousing, which we've now addressed. And we're quite confident that we'll be able to undertake this project successfully.
And do you think perhaps that this project is one much needed boost in terms of finances for the post office, in terms of relevance as well for the post office?
Very much. The DTT project for us, the strategic turnaround plan that was put together when we were under administration, relied very much on government business. Now, this is the first project. I don't think there's been a project of this magnitude in South Africa, and for the post office it's very, very important so that we can re-establish our credibility and demonstrate to the government and to the South Africa at large that we are not a dysfunctional organisation, that we are actually quite a functional organisation and can deliver whatever it takes.
To the viewers, consumers, myself, anybody else who's watching now, how do we get involved? I believe you've targeted, you said, the Northern Cape. Just to give me some details of how I can apply wherever I am. When is it Gauteng's turn? When is it Mpumalanga's turn?
What will happen is we've obviously, the launches will be sequentially. Obviously, the next one will be in Mpumalanga. That will be obviously communicated through the press, SABC radio stations, Radio Sonder Grense, the CDFM and those. But people in the Northern Cape, people in the Free State, please go to your closest post office branch, register for the DTT. I mean, it's a free set-top box. Even if you've got a DSTV dish, which if you're a needy household earning less than 3,200 rand, even if you've got a DSTV dish, come to the post office, get your free set-top box.
In closing, I always find that my guests have that one message that they really want to get out to the viewers, and perhaps Ayanda, for one reason or another, doesn't get round to asking that pertinent question. Is there anything that you would like to add to the viewers, to myself, to the whole South Africa, who's perhaps watching this morning and saying, what can he say to me?
Well, the Post Office has had many challenges. With our new CEO, Mr. Mark Barnes, I'm very hopeful that we can get to where we were and where we need to be. Also, we need the support of the community at large, especially with the DTT project, because the uptake and the distribution, there's an analog switch off where we move from analog TV signal to digital TV signal. So what we would like to say to the viewers and to the people at large is just get involved, go to your closest post office, see if you qualify, understand what's happening and get involved.
Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate your communication this morning. It's Mr. Geert Bataille. He is the General Manager for Retail Operations here at the South African Post Office. And in about an hour's time, it will be 25 minutes to 9. We'll have another interview with another key stakeholder here at the Post Office. This time, though, we're discussing their international affairs, the sorting officers there, and whether or not strike action and rumors of protests are true. If so, how do we deal with them? All that and more in just a moment. Do stay with us.